welcome back to Airecon 2024. I'm here with Richard from Medusa Games. Obviously, we know of Medusa from games like Nine Worlds, Great Fire of London, the magnificent Fly Machines, which we've just, obviously, last time we spoke, there you were looking to launch the expansion Great British Air Races. That's now out. But the main reason we're actually here is to talk about the Oranges and Lemons, which is not the first time we've seen it.
No.
But it's taken on more and more vibrancy. There's a lot more going on in it. So if you talk us through it.
Sure, yeah. So this is Oranges and Lemons, which is a worker placement Euro game based on the old nursery rhyme, Oranges and Lemons, St Bells and St Clements, and so on, which British kids basically all tend to learn at school. But the rhyme that we'd know at school has about 6 verses in. If you dig back into the history, there's about 16 verses. But at some point in history has been related to one of the areas of London. And so it just seemed to be an obvious idea to use that to locate a game in London, activities going on in London to do with trade and commerce and all of that sort of thing. In the game you represent a merchant in the city of London. At the start of the game you have a limited capacity in terms of transport and warehouse and space like that. So literally enough to carry a cube of goods and things around with you, or a crate of goods, you might think of it. And over the course of the game, you will expand that and improve that, so you can carry more things, so that you can buy and sell things, and in an attempt, obviously, to score the points that you will in the game. So here are the 16 areas of London. This sort of St Clements is the fruit market, so you buy your lemons and things there. And St Margaret's are the archery butts, so you go there to win first prize in an archery competition. Basically a free money space. Then St Giles is the brickbats of St Tiles is brickbats with sort of stone masonry, that sort of thing. St Helens is St Martin's here is a money lending area, so you're getting involved in lending money. St Peter's was the fast food area of London, so pancakes and fritters, say the Bells, St Peter's. So that's another goods that you can buy in the game. Whitechapel was the bell foundry in London. One of the things that you do in Orange and Lemons is the issue bells. You can see we've got them starting here on our player board. You'll take the bells and you'll place them in locations around the city, and that will enhance that action as if you were a benefactor of the parish, if you like, and you're getting a little benefit, a little perk. St Catherine's are the markets where you sell your goods that you might have bought. St John's was the chapel in the Tower of London, so it's you can go there to sort of beg indulgences effectively from the crown, so free goods and victory points and money. St Anne's is kettle and pans, which is a way of talking about ironmongery type things, so another goods. Aldgate was our father Baldgate was the patron saint of travel and that sort of thing. So that location was associated with upgrading your transport network, so buying a handcart, a horse and cart, and ultimately a ship, and that will increase the number of cubes that you can now buy and sell from. Here is the St Helens is another reference to sort of money lending and money and things. And in fact, quite close to St Helens is St Jonathan's Coffee House. And Jonathan's Coffee House was the first stock market. The stock buyers and sellers got thrown out of the Royal Exchange because they were too rowdy, and so had to set up shop in the coffee house. And that's the early stock market was there. So we have a representation of an early stock exchange going on in the game as well. The Bailey rhyme about when will you pay me, said Bells of Old Bailey. That was because Old Bailey was, amongst other things, involved in the if you were a debtor, court. But so it's to do with sort of money again, and what we've done in that case is to use it for investing in the speculative trade ventures to the East Indies and other places. So you're backing ships that went across the sea to find nutmeg and cinnamon and that sort of expensive stuff and bringing it back. And that's represented in the games by these by a bag that's sort of full of ships, which you will pull out, and these ships might be full of goods, but equally they might be a sunken ship, and that has two critical influences on the game. First of all, that's what controls the stock market. So if you look on here, we've got these pluses and minuses and things, and that will cause the stock value to fluctuate. But also, people that have backed those ships will get the ships and will get whatever the goods are on them and things. Shoreditch is quite a poor area of London, so that rhyme about when I grow rich, then the bells of Shoreditch was all about the fact that it's a poor area, so people were sort of, maybe I'll be rich one day sort of thing. Because it's a poor area of London, we've got a cheap cut price market there where you can get good, either cheap or free goods early in the game typically, but they eventually run out and so on. The Bells of Stepney, at Stepney with the docks.
Yeah.
So that is the place that you can go to do exports. So you take those goods that you might have bought in various places or got inbound from the East Indies and complete cargoes for victory points, for money, and for other potential in-game advantages. St Paul's here is where you get your worker placement game. You need more workers. So you go there to hand over goods cubes. You need 2 goods cubes to get your first extra worker. You start the game in just space for 1. So you're going to need to expand that transport, get the 2 spaces, then be able to turn up with the 2 goods cubes, get your 3rd worker, and so on. And finally, we have the Great Bell of Bow, which, according to legend, Dick Whittington heard the bells of Bow calling him back to London, and he became Lord Mayor and things. So there you go to get votes, literally buying sort of votes in the game. And these are worth victory points, but also the person who's got the most becomes Lord Mayor, and that's one of those end game things. So that's the actions that you do, and those bells enhance those in some fashion. So an example might be you get 2 of those and you keep the higher value in the case of the bell, the bell at Bow and things. And you're scoring points on most of those activities. So money, how many things like victory points, which you can have on the cargoes, loans that you've issued, the shares. There's about 8 areas that we score at the end of the game for activities and who's done the most and things like that. So that's the gist of it.
So we're reckoning play time to be around the 2-hour mark?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. I mean, we certainly, if we play a 3-player game, we know the game. It can play nearer a sort of hour to an hour and a half. But I think, particularly the first time through, maybe 2 hours to 2.5. But that, a lot of that might be the initial learning the game thing. And here we've been doing games with people that don't know the game in a couple of hours, getting to the end of it and things. So. Yeah, so it's a couple of hour game, sort of medium heavy Euro, I would say.
So I think this is about the 3rd iteration of the board that I've seen. The first one being the paper copy.
Oh yeah.
Yep. The second one being a lot of the imagery that's been used. Yeah. This one's now obviously a lot more vibrant, got a lot more going on around the edges. Yeah. But obviously it's still not the final piece. So that's still coming, isn't it? Yeah.
So the artist I have a graphic designer and I have an artist who work with us. So the graphic designer does essentially the layout and the icons and the symbology and the where things are and where things go on the board, elements of things. But then we need, and most of that work's actually been done really. It's now down to little tweaks about could that move a centimetre to the left and that sort of thing. But the artwork, the same artist who did Fly Machines, Tinker Tailor and 9 Worlds, then comes along and does his adds the magic of the nice art. So the early stage. So none of the art on the board is his art. Actually, the art on the back of that vote thing is a complete piece of art. These player boards have got sort of sketch and sort of early colour versions, but will be an awful lot more detailed once it's finished. So that process of is the next stage really over the next couple or 3 months, getting that art coming through. So hopefully we'll be ready to make the game in time for Essen.
Yeah. So we're all being well. It'll be an Essen release.
Yeah, that's it. The plan is to take pre-orders from Expo. We don't tend to do ourselves Kickstarter because to do a good Kickstarter campaign, you need a lot of time, and this and then running the expo and things like that tends to eat up the hours and things. So what we tend to do is to plan for a release at a certain time and do pre-orders, but so there won't be a pre-order, a Kickstarter thing, but there is a pre-order, but which will be at discounted rates for people who want to pre-order the game in advance of Essen. Yeah.
And I assume you'll have this copy then at Expo anyway.
Yes, we will. I'm hoping if all goes well, we may have a version of the board here. Certainly, the player boards should have pretty much the final art on, because that's almost done now. And I'm hoping we'll have quite a bit of the player board showing the at least elements of it will be the final art of things, to give people a better idea of the final version of things.
Fantastic. So obviously check out Medusa Games at the Expo if you're interested in that, and obviously interested in getting your pre-order down. If not, I'm assuming it'll be available website and all, and retailers.
Website, yes. So at the moment, yes, we haven't released the pre-order until we tend to wait until we are fairly confident or certain that we're going to make the thing. So we rather than take pre-orders and then think, we're going to put it back a year. We'd much prefer to say at Expo, we placed the order with the manufacturers. This game is being made. It will be out in October, and then take pre-orders.
Yeah.
So that would be the plan. But if I think you can go on the website and sign up under the Orange and Lemons page to get a email once the pre-order goes live and things.
Fantastic. So do that, and the link for that will be in the description down below. Richard, thank you once again for your time.
Okay.
Hopefully you enjoy the rest of the weekend and get a little bit of rest in between now and the expo itself.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully.
Brilliant. And we'll catch you next time. Take care.